Hello Gators. In this video we're going to do 4 examples of using the midpoint formula to find the midpoint of a line segment. So this first question says find the midpoint of the segment with the following endpoints 10, 6 and 4, 9. First thing I'm going to do is label these points with x1, y1, and I'm going to let this point be x2, y2. And I know that my midpoint, which is our big letter M, is equal to x1 plus x2 divided by 2. That would be my x-coordinate. And my y-coordinate is going to be y1 plus y2 divided by 2. So when I plug in these values, I would have 10 plus 4 divided by 2 for my x-coordinate. And I would have 6 plus 9 divided by 2 to be my y-coordinate. So again, this is an x-coordinate, and this is my y-coordinate of the midpoint, because this midpoint has an x and a y coordinate. We can't forget that we are looking at a coordinate. So when I simplify, I'm going to simplify this expression now. I'm going to write it down here. 10 plus 4 gives me 14 divided by 2. 6 plus 9 gives me 15 divided by 2. And now I'm just going to simplify, and that will give me my midpoint. 14 divided by 2 is 7. 15 divided by 2 is what? 7.5? 7.5. So that is my midpoint. Example 2. Find the midpoint of the line segment with the following endpoints: 2, -4, and 6, -10. So again, my big M, capital M midpoint, which has an x and a y coordinate, is going to be equal to x1 plus x2 divided by 2, comma, y1 plus y2 divided by 2. Now before I forget, I need to label these points, so I'm going to let 2 be x1 and -4 be y1. I'll let 6 be x2 and -10 be y2. And now I'm going to substitute in those values. So this is going to be equal to 2 plus 6 divided by 2, comma, -4 plus -10 divided by 2. And I know this may seem confusing, but you have to remember that I'm setting this x-coordinate equal to this value, which I'm underlining in blue, and I'm setting this y-coordinate in green to this value. So we have 2 different equations going on at once. I hope that doesn't confuse you, but if it does, ask me a question about it. So now I'm going to simplify these 2 points. 2 plus 6 is 8 divided by 2. And -4 plus a -10 would give me a -14 divided by 2. And now I can do division and find my point, which would be 8 divided by 2 is 4. -14 divided by 2 is -7. And so now I have found my midpoint. Example 3. Find the midpoint of the segment with the following endpoints: -3, -9. I'm going to let that be x1, x2, and -7, -3. Hold on. I'm going to let the first point be x1, y1. And then I'm going to let the second point be x2, y2. So I know that my capital M midpoint, which has an x and a y coordinate, is going to be equal to, and this time I'm going to directly plug in my values. I'm not going to rewrite the whole equation. I'm just going to plug them in right away. -3 is my x1 plus -7, which is my x2, divided by 2. And then my y-coordinate is going to be -9 plus -3. That is my y1 plus my y2, divided by 2. When I simplify that, -3 plus -7 becomes -10 divided by 2. And my y-coordinate is -9 plus -3 divided by 2, which would be -12 divided by 2. Next, I'm just going to divide. -10 divided by 2 is -5, and -12 divided by 2 is -6. So here is my midpoint. The final example, example 4, find the midpoint of the segment with the following endpoints. -2, 7, that will be my x1, y1, and 2, 3 will be my x2, y2. And again, this time I'm going to plug them directly in. So my big M midpoint, which has an x and a y coordinate, is equal to, well, my x coordinate is x1, which is -2, plus x2, which is 2, divided by 2. That is a lot of 2's. My y coordinate is y1, 7, plus y2, which is 3, divided by 2. Now I'm going to simplify. -2 plus 2 is 0. So I have 0 divided by 2 for my x coordinate. 7 plus 3, that is 10 divided by 2, and that's my y coordinate. Simplify one more time. 0 divided by 2 is 0. 10 divided by 2 is 5. And here is my midpoint.